Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Again, we're going to get quick into the scripture and just break it down from there. So, here it is. This is John 3:19. And this is the judgment that the light has come into the world, and men loved the darkness rather than the light, for their deeds were evil. Again, and this is the judgment that the light has come into the world, and men loved the darkness rather than the light, for their deeds were evil. So, as always, on this channel, what we love to do is uh, get scripture and then just kind of break it down into multiple forms, iterations through which people can be able to understand. So, one thing that I've been leaning on lately is understanding that a lot of us love to hide from the light, and there's multiple reasons for why that is. For one, I think there is a great deal of shame and guilt that we deal with as human beings on a day-to-day basis. You know, there's a great deal of shame and guilt that we deal with on a day-to-day basis that kind of makes us recluse and not wanting to be vulnerable in all aspects of our lives and, really tell people what we're going through. And I think that we take that especially into a relationship with God, right? You know, and one thing that I'm realizing is God is not a man. Like, it's pretty evident in scripture. God is not a man, right? God will deal with you as God, right? As your creator. And who better to run to than, you know, the engineer of your soul, the person who created you, right? And I think what this scripture perfectly shows is that we tend to do the opposite of what is required in these situations. You go to the engineer to fix you and to put you back in proper order, right? But because of our deeds, the things we do in secret, which God sees anyway, we tend to stray further away from the light. And this is why, the condemnation of man is just. Scripture makes us understand that. Because man love to do evil and love to run away from the rulership and the authorship of God. And this is the main problem with, you know, man ever since the garden, right? The ultimate temptation is to want to take matters into our own hands and to be our own gods, to make our own life decisions, to want to be everything apart from the creation of God, right? And that's where pride in its, most dangerous and lasting form springs up, it sprung up. So we have to be careful not to run away from Christ in the moments, especially in the moments where we feel that we've erred or sinned, because there's so much grace for us. There's so much grace for us. So let me speak specifically to men now. Men need to be more vulnerable, man. Men need to be more vulnerable. Men need to find spaces where, and again, the context there is me talking to Christian men and for people who are hoping to take that leap in towards faith, towards being a Christian. But for Christian men, we need to find spaces where we're vulnerable, where we can cry and have shoulders to lean on. Let's stop this thing of being invincible. You're not invincible. No man is invincible. Jesus would always say this, that, there is no one good outside of God. There is no one good outside of God, right? So let's even that platform and understand that we need to find spaces where we can cry on, shoulders to lean on, people to talk to. We don't have to be this super masculine man. That's not what Jesus was. Jesus is the perfect embodiment of everything that it means to be a man. Strong, temperate, not condescending, speaking the truth in love, and still willing to take that leap into vulnerability. And we see his weakness on display in the Garden of Gethsemane. So we have to understand that we need people in our close circle. Jesus had a close circle, right? So let's build community and hone in on that. And that goes for my ladies too, right? And I'm sure there's other ladies that can be able to speak better towards you guys' perspective, but it's the same thing. Enough with this invincibility, man. Run to God and build community. A safe haven where you can be able to talk, to people about your issues, right? And let me take it a step further too. If you can't find that, you have to be active in creating that. If you cannot find that, you have to be active in creating that space for vulnerability. And what I find is that when we take that leap of faith, that's when we start to heal ourselves almost, right? When we become that safe haven for others, we start to heal ourselves in the process of the things that we're going through, right? So like some might say there's a selfish component to it, but listen, that this is the perfect, summary of what the law is. Jesus said, do unto others as you would wish to be done unto yourself. So what you can't find, you give it to others. And in a process, in some way, shape, or form, and again, God, not even factoring God is going to be that anyway, because he's a steady rock. But in the process of healing others, you find your healing in the short term, in the long run. So coming back to the scripture that we're breaking down again today, John 3:19. Men, since the beginning of time, have always tried to run from God, right? And that parallels into our relationship with other people. So listen, we're not called to be, monoliths, lone statue-esque figures out here. We're not that. We're not that. We're not our own gods. Let's run to God and let's build community. I love you all so much, so much. And I'm praying for healing to, wash on my brothers and my sisters, going through a lot right now, man. Going through a lot, man. Pray for y'all, man. See you on the next one.